Hello everyone, my name is David Allen Gay and thank you very much for watching the latest David Needs a Job video dated Tuesday, October 18, 2016 at about 4:30 in the afternoon on a windy, rainy day. So I've taken shelter from the elements to bring you up to speed about why I haven't made a video for quite some time, what has been happening. I won't lie to you, I haven't recovered fully from the decision from GoFundMe Ireland to lock me out of my GoFundMe account because I didn't have a phone number to put into their new security verification system. And I tried to explain to them that I am a part-time homeless couch surfer, chronically unemployed, that cannot afford a phone. I could not find someone that could be the representative for the security verification process if I did need a phone number to unlock my account for whatever reason. They weren't buying it, they weren't going to go for it, so I got effectively locked out of my account, and it was an emotional blow to me. I wasn't handling it well at all. I haven't found really a lot of work. I've done the odd gig here and there, Bless You Social, Visio in Cambridge for the blog work. And I've done some gigs here and there through Kijiji and Craigslist, but it certainly was not enough to really make a difference in terms of improving my return to self-reliance and self-sustainability from a financial standpoint. So a lot of these things have been working against me, and I've really had to put a lot of effort into trying to keep my neck above water. There's just so many things that needed to be done in order to accomplish this, and as a result a video was forthcoming but did not happen until now. And it's an important video I want to share with you. I think, like I said, it was a video that needed to be done. It needs to be done now. It's an important video. I have maintained this YouTube video channel for about 4 years now. 3.5, 4 years, and it began with, I believe, the first video of me in a three-piece suit, trying to sell myself like a piece of meat, and going through my 30-second stump speech about why companies should hire me and what a benefit I would be to the organization that does hire me. But from there, it became a very slow, painful, progressive slide downwards that I wanted to share with you because I felt it was necessary, not just to promote my job search and maybe get some help in getting back to work, but also to make people aware of what it is like to be an unemployed person. There's been a lot of stereotypes and misconceptions about people like myself, where we're being considered lazy, don't want to work, shiftless, drug addicts, alcoholics. And certainly in my case, and a lot of people that I know, that could not be further from the truth if you tried to put it that far. So I did this video series not just to promote my job search, but also to raise awareness for you out there in social media land who watch the cat videos and play Facebook games like Farmville, who do not see just how bad things really are out there in this age of austerity and the jobless recovery. A coined phrase I've said so many times on this video channel and also at my blog at davidallengay.wordpress.com. And I've shared with you about a lot of things on my channel here on YouTube, including the 30 episode series called David Needs a Job, that again opened up a window for you to look through and try to make you understand what I've been going through in terms of my job search. And I had a lot of things to say during that 30 episode series. I talked to you about credential creep for one thing, how job requirements are being steadily elevated over the last few years, so that even the most basic jobs, which are supposed to be entry-level jobs that you learn skills from while being trained, are now almost impossible to get, such as cleaning jobs, where you're now required to have 6 months to a year's cleaning experience, when in fact most of us actually do that in our very own homes. I've talked to you about the the consequences of long-term unemployment in that 30 episode series, where what would happen if you couldn't find a job and you ended up losing things over and over. You've lost your independence, you've lost your home, you've lost the things that you've enjoyed doing. You become slowly a shadow of yourself while you're being deconstructed because of the economy being so poor. I explained to you also how business, government, and education, they need to work together in order to address the situation regarding poverty and unemployment and homelessness. I've also explained to you the personal impact of people around you who are affected by your job search and your lack of employment, where you start fighting over you start fighting over money, you start fighting over things that you have to cancel because you can't afford it anymore, and it becomes an inconvenience for them. And you have to argue about why you're taking this approach to finding a job when they think that you should be doing it in this way. You get a lot of backseat drivers on that one. I've talked to you about the stupid interview questions that I've had to put up with, because I've been on hundreds of interviews over the last few years, and some of these questions are completely amazing. Like, why is a manhole cover called a manhole cover? Like, why is it called a man? My favorite question of all time was, if you were a tree, what type of tree would you be? My answer was, I would be a willow because I'm flexible. So remember that if you ever get asked that question. I've tried to bring to your attention how our economy is changing from one consisting of full-time jobs with benefits that you can enjoy to a new world order where it's part-time work that you do piecemeal. You might do it at more one job at a time, and you don't get benefits anymore. The impact of the work-life balance for those people who are still employed, who now have to deal with the fact that you're not working at that company anymore, but they still have to do your job. So they're now doing the work of 2, maybe even 3 people. They're not seeing their kids, they're not eating properly, they're not exercising, they're not taking care of themselves. And that causes a productivity hit not only in the workplace, but it also manifests itself in increased costs for our social safety net, where you have to take care of these illnesses that are born from stress, born from overwork. There's also my take on what the unemployment is. People don't seem to understand what unemployment rate is. They think that's because it's so low, it's a great thing, but I disagree completely. The unemployment rate, first of all, is understated. It does not factor in employment disparity. It does not factor in underemployment. It doesn't even factor in overemployment. The unemployment rate is considerably higher as a result. And we really shouldn't be talking about people who are not working. We should be talking about how we are working and the quality of work. That percentage would be a much more realistic figure to examine in order to find out just how healthy our workforce really is. I've tried to explain to you about how it's now an employer's market, and the employers can pretty much set the rules any way they see fit. They can behave and treat you in a certain way that may have been considered criminal in the past. I've tried to explain to you also that what technological unemployment, what does automation mean now that we have robots that can start doing work as well as, if not better than, human beings? What's going to happen to those people who lose their jobs? I mean, where are these people going to go? What are these people going to do when we have machines taking over positions that used to earn an income for someone so they could pay the rent and put food on the table for themselves and their kids? I've talked about the issues regarding ageism. Ageism is a tough concept. It's one of our last prejudices in society. There is a misconception that just because you're of a certain age, you are no longer worthy of hiring for a job, which is completely untrue. I am definitely not past my best before date at the age of 52. Yeah, I am going to stay my age, despite the fact that Employment Assistance Centers say to you, you should never reveal your age. You always should appear younger. I mean, we would never say that to a person of color. You gotta look more white We would never say to a woman, you got to dress more like a man to face discrimination based on race and gender. We should not be doing that in terms of our own age. There's being middle aged is nothing to be ashamed of. And hey, you want to know something? There is nothing wrong with being unemployed as well. Unemployment is not a crime. It is a state of existence because you don't have a job. And if society cared that much to consider unemployment an actual crime, then please get off your seats and do something about it. Get people like myself back to work full time so that we can be contributing members to society that pay our taxes, that go into roads, go into hospitals, and build a better world for everyone to live in. There's also the consideration of genetic profiling, which is related to ageism. Like what happens if we get to the point where we manage to store in a database that is easily shared all of our potential future illnesses that we could have, such as our disposition toward cancer, MS, Alzheimer's, dementia. Would you want to be in a world where that information is shared between employers and the government? And would you like to be discriminated against if they find out that you have a genetic defect that could lead you to one of these disorders later in life? Would you like to be told we can't hire you because we feel you might cost us more money if you suddenly develop a disease according to the genetic markers in your DNA code? I also talked about the impact of why this particular recession and the jobless recovery in this age of austerity might be just a harbinger of things to come. I've talked about Jane Jacobs' book, Dark Age Ahead, where I think the unemployment situation is merely not so much a disease in itself, self-contained from the rest of a healthy society. I think the unemployment situation and the jobless recovery that followed from the Great Recession is actually a symptom of something that is far, far worse yet to come. And you guys have really got to start reading the newspapers more and watching the business news on TV and turning on your radio and really educate yourself about how tough things are in terms of the economy. Even if you are working and are gainfully employed and you're so lucky to have a job right now, open your eyes, clean out your ears, pay attention to the warning signs that are not being heard. I mean, I'm not some conspiracy nut like Alex Jones, for heaven's sakes. I am trying to tell you that there's a big crash coming down the road, and Jane Jacobs, she nailed it. She knew exactly what she was talking about. What she predicted was going to happen, and Dark Age Ahead is now happening right here in the present. Educate yourself. Pay attention. There's also the attitudes regarding the unemployed and homeless. Like they think we're shiftless, lazy, drug-addled, and alcohol-ridden bums who do not want to work, who do not want to earn an income, who do not want to take personal responsibility for their financial self-reliance and self-sustainability. Completely untrue. They're more like me. They're more like people who want to work but are not being given a fair shake and not being given a hand up out of our situation. We're being dismissed. We're being ignored. And I think that's a very unfortunate prejudice to have laden on something that really is not our fault. Most people who are unemployed, most people who are homeless did not ask to be in the situation that they're in. And when finally I had to, leave Toronto because I lost my home and tried to make a stand in Kitchener for finding employment, and then ended up being homeless, I talked to you about what it was like to be homeless. I talked to you about sleep deprivation. I talked to you about, having to sleep on buses and on subways. And tried to share with you about what I needed to do just in order to keep sane while at the same time trying to continue a job search. Because let's face it, even though I was homeless during that time, it was still on me to find a job. I mean, the fact that I was tired, the fact that I was seeing things and hearing things from lack of REM sleep, that was immaterial. I had to find a job. I've told you about a lot of things. I shared with you my emotions. I've shared with you things about my depression because I did get depressed. And my anger moods and my emotional outbursts to my friends and my family about my unemployment situation. and the regrets that came from that when they no longer wanted to be a part of my life. I've shared with you a lot of things over the last 3-4 years on this channel, but I'm getting to the point now where there's really nothing more to say. You know, I had hoped that this channel would really get myself out of the situation that I'm in. I had hoped maybe not necessarily by myself, but in concert with other content providers who were in the same situation that I was in, we would change people's minds enough to really spearhead a movement in society to help people like myself become productive, hardworking members of society again. There's nothing really more for me to say. You know, I can't tell you anymore without repeating myself. There's nothing more I can do to change your mind if you haven't already been persuaded to change your mind after I shared what I've shared with you. I gave you a window into my life. I gave you a unique perspective, a fly on the wall as to what was going on in my head and in my heart. And you know, you get to the point in anything that you do where you're starting to think, well, I can't say anything more than I needed to say. I can't do any more because I've done it all with regards to this channel, and that's where I am right now. And that's why I needed to make this video, because I am letting you guys know, at least on this particular channel here, David Needs a Job, this is my final video. I am never, ever, ever, ever going to make another video under this name ever again on YouTube. That's a given. This is my last video ever that you'll see me make on this channel. It does not mean I'm going to get rid of my 30 episode series, David Needs a Job. I think it's still relevant. I think it's still important. It shares what job seekers go through, what they lose, and what they have to emotionally deal with not having a job. It will always remain online. My GoFundMe videos, I'm going to have to prefix with the state not to donate to GoFundMe, because obviously I can't get access to my GoFundMe account. But the videos themselves would not be deleted because they do contain relevant information. Most importantly of all, I'm not going to delete any of my videos, but simply put, I'm proud of what I had to say. It's not easy sitting in front of a camera and sharing with you guys, you know, what I'm going through. I am not the type of guy that has always been saying, look at me, let me do this. I'm a deed speak kind of guy. It's a phrase that I've used many times, very often on this channel. You know, I'm a deed speak kind of guy. I do things and I let people talk about the accomplishments that I do. Let them be happy to know that I can do things for them, yet not ask anything in terms of thanks for doing them. I'm very proud of the content that I provided. I'm very proud of my opinions in each of these videos. I stand by them with my bare face hanging out and my real name shown in big black bold letters on this channel. But as far as I'm concerned, that's it. I'm done. I can't say anything else, because if I start making more videos after this point, I'd be repeating myself and I would be devaluing the work that I've done over the last 4 years. Now, for this channel, it's the end, but it's not necessarily goodbye. And I'll tell you why. I do have a personal channel under my own name that has absolutely nothing to do with my job search. And I talk about things that have absolutely nothing to do with unemployment or homelessness. Thank God. I can actually be myself and just let things out that have nothing to do with, you know, what I'm going through right now regarding my job search. I am also on Minezcalm under the name of David Needs a Job, where while I'm not going to necessarily continue going on and on what I've already covered here, I do feel, being a person of having, meaning I had a good salary, I had a good career, I had a home, I had my own internet access, my own phone, my own self-worth, my own independence, and now being a person where I'm heavily dependent on a lot of people. I can't afford internet, I can't afford a phone, I can't even afford paying for this place myself. I subsidized from my immediate members of my family. Gives me a unique perspective where I've actually lived in two worlds. Because most of you guys out there, you've only lived in one world. You've either been a have or you've been a have not. But you've never actually been in the situation like I've been, where you've actually done the slide. And I have been sharing those viewpoints on Minezcalm under the name, as I said, David Needs a Job. I write blog posts, I make videos, I provide links from the CBC, the Toronto Sun, the Toronto Star, anything to do with social issues, such as social justice warriors, again, the society's treatment of the poor, technology, the good and the bad of it. You know, I do a lot of things over there. And I must say I'm doing a lot better over there on Minds.com than I am doing here, because on Minds.com I have about 45 followers, which is for me a major accomplishment, and about 4 or 5 people here, despite the fact that I've put so much video and so much content on YouTube. But then again, maybe I just can't compete with a cat video or sexy anime characters on YouTube. I mean, maybe I just don't make the cut on YouTube against something like that. But on Minds.com, it's an even level playing field, you know, for both the left and the right. You know, big major league content providers like Dave Cullen and, you know, Blair White and Undoomed are on Minds.com, and they provide content, but it's not going to drown out what I've done. You know, I have something to say, everyone's got something to say, and we're all on a level playing field. So that's pretty much it. I'm done. But I want to thank you all in this last video on this channel. Thank you very much for watching. I may not have changed your mind, but at least hopefully you've heard what I've had to say and considered the viewpoints from a job seeker, from someone who is chronically unemployed, from someone who is homeless. You know, took time to think about what I said and at least gave it some personal debate before outright dismissing it, you know, or agreeing with it. I don't know. It depends on the person watching this video. I wish you all the best. I wish you well with your friends and your family, and most importantly, I hope you never have to go through what I've went through. It's not been sunshine and lollipops by any stretch, and I would not wish what I've gone through over the last 4 or 5 years on my worst enemy. No one deserves to be treated the way I've been treated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on Minds.com. Bye for now.